how to ask for corrections in Portuguese without being annoying. You want to improve your Portuguese, and you know mistakes are part of the process. But how do you ask a Portuguese person to correct you without sounding weird? In this video, I will show you how to ask for feedback in a calm, respectful, and friendly way. Olá, I'm Sara. I'm Portuguese teacher, and I'm here to help you have the best life possible that you can have in Portuguese with the Portuguese. So the first thing that I need you to know is you need to be aware why it feels uncomfortable to ask. Probably you'll tell me, oh Sarah, I already know that. I feel uncomfortable asking, or I feel uncomfortable when they give me feedback because I just made a mistake and I don't want to make mistakes, right? But really think about why in your specific situation, why do you feel uncomfortable? Why it feels uncomfortable to ask? Probably you don't want to feel insecure, and you don't want to seem insecure or annoying. You are afraid of interrupting or making things awkward, and probably you think natives may not know how to correct you properly, right? So maybe this is one of the situations. Maybe it happened with you. But there is the truth. If you ask the right way, many Portuguese people will be happy to help. Okay? And let's say that you don't know the person, but you still want to ask for correction, for help, but you don't feel very comfortable, but you don't know how the person will react. Then ask them. You don't know until you ask. Okay? Ideally, the first time that you ask for corrections is with someone that you trust. And you need to, as we used to say, read the room. Is this an emergency situation? Are they in a hurry or not? If you already know the person, you know the personality, you know if they are humble, if they are willing to help. And that's the case for many Portuguese. They are more than willing to help you, even if they sound a little bit rude, too literal, too straightforward, to no, it's this way, it's because blah 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 blah. Maybe they're a little bit like this, not that kind, that polite way of speaking. But it depends on the person. A lot of the Portuguese maybe sound kind of rude, but it's not they are being rude. They are very assertive and they really want to help. So it depends. So don't think that they are just being rude if you don't really know the person. Okay? And what else is important for us to take into consideration? Well, I'm about to tell you the secret, which is not a secret, but the key is crucial for you here, and I just talked about it a little bit a moment ago, which is build trust first. Let people know how you are open to mistakes and corrections. Sometimes people don't point to mistakes because they think that you'll feel sad, you're going to feel different kind of negative feelings. You will feel unmotivated, discouraged. So sometimes they don't say that you did a mistake, and they just say that you are very good at Portuguese, you sound amazing, everything is perfect, but it's just because they don't want to hurt your feelings. So it's very important for you to let people know how you feel about making mistakes, how you feel mistakes, and how you feel about being corrected. Okay? So this is essential for good communication. Be direct. So you say, I want this, I think this, and really say the truth so people will know, because no one reads other people's minds or feelings. So it's very important for you to really say what you want and how you want it and how you need it. Okay? And one way that you can send your message, because one thing is what you're going to say, other thing is how you're going to say it, right? So sometimes we need to be careful how we say things. Just like when you see your friend, that your friend is getting fat, but you don't want to say, oh, you are fat, because it's not nice. But because you care about your friend's health, you need to say something to your friend, right? So of course you're going to say it in the most nice way possible, because you don't want to hurt your friend's feelings. So in this situation and similar situations, you can use humor or light language when asking. Okay, use your imagination, use your own humor. I know there are cultural differences that you may already know about them. Of course, there are always new things that to know about the culture. But when you say something funny, if you don't, you see that the other person doesn't understand, you can say, "Oh, this is something that I say in my hometown or in my country. This is our kind of humor," and you explain, because you will see the person like, you know. And you, of course, you can just say, "Oh, I was kidding. Oh, I was kidding." Actually, that's something that sometimes people do when, and it's not related to language, foreign language at all. It's not related to learning a foreign language, but in social interactions, when we say something and then we realize that we said something weird, awkward, something that we were supposed to say, and we regret that, but we can erase it. Sometimes people just go and say, ha ha ha, I was kidding, with this ha 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 laugh that is not really the most natural laugh. Then people say that, oh, I was kidding. And in Portuguese, I was kidding is estava a brincar. Estava a brincar. And fast, that is estava a brincar. Estava a brincar. Estava a brincar. Oh, estava a brincar. Estava a brincar. Just like this, okay? So there are always ways that you can work with to, if you are in an awkward situation. Not just, of course, the topic here is about corrections, asking for the Portuguese for correction, but you can also apply this in other situations, even if you are interacting with Portuguese or not, but interacting with people in general. If you are in difficult, awkward situation, you can use humor and light language to break the ice or make things easier. Okay, and even sometimes people use this light language and humor in a situation that they need to stop violence or escalated to violence. So it's very important to have this in mind. So you also can think about asking for corrections this way. Think, I'm not asking for a favor. You don't need to say, oh, please, I'm sorry. No, you don't need to ask for a favor. You don't need to see this as a favor. You're inviting them into your learning process, into your learning journey, into your learning progress. Okay? And psychologically, we know that people like to be asked for help because they feel good if they are able to help others. So it's also good if you ask for help. You will make them feel good. Okay, the classic one or the stereotype is a woman asking for help to a guy, and the guy wants to impress her, so he does it because he wants to feel good helping her. Okay, that's the similar thing. Useful phrases that you can say. Okay, I will write them here and you'll have them also in the description below. So the first thing that you can say in a conversation is, if I say anything strange, off, anything that doesn't sound quite good, or something that doesn't sound Portuguese, feel free to correct me. Okay, something like this. If I say anything strange, feel free to correct me. Em português, that is, se eu disser alguma coisa estranha, podes corrigir-me. You can say this as a statement, you can correct me, or as a question. Because the sentence, the statement, and the question in Portuguese is exactly the same. We just change the intonation. So in terms of words, we use exactly the same words for question and answer. It's different from English. It's like, do you have, is the question. And statement, I have or I do have. In Portuguese, we don't have this thing. Do you have? Do you sleep? Do you? No, it's just sleep and have. So it's the same in Portuguese. So this first sentence, let me repeat it for you. Se eu disser alguma coisa estranha, podes corrigir-me? And faster. Se eu disser alguma coisa estranha, podes corrigir-me. Se eu disser alguma coisa estranha, podes corrigir-me. Okay? And of course, you can watch and rewatch this video as many times as you want, specifically this section here, so you can listen over and over again to my pronunciation, which is very important for you to speak not just correctly, but in a way that Portuguese native speakers are going to understand you. Okay? Other sentence. Please correct me. I'm still practicing. How to say this in Portuguese? Corrige-me à vontade. Estou a treinar. Corrige-me à vontade. Estou a treinar. Or, I didn't translate the still part. You can say ainda estou a treinar. I'm still practicing. Ainda estou a treinar. So, fast. Corrige-me à vontade. Ainda estou a treinar. Corrige-me à vontade. Ainda estou a treinar. Okay, so you say with all the words, correct me. Corrige-me. Okay? Other sentence is, I still make a lot of mistakes. Help me if you notice anything. If you notice anything weird or anything at all, not specifying. Tell me if you notice anything. So, how to say this? I still make a lot of mistakes. Help me if you notice anything. Ainda cometo erros. Ajuda-me se notares alguma coisa. Ainda cometo erros. Ajuda-me se notares alguma coisa. And faster. Ainda cometo erros. Ajuda-me se notares alguma coisa. Ainda cometo erros. Ajuda-me se notares alguma coisa. I always like to say like the sentence in Portuguese slowly so you understand everything. But it's very important for you to listen to fast Portuguese because that's the real Portuguese that the Portuguese speak. So you need to get used to the speed. Although this is something that you will be the one saying. I see this also as an opportunity to say the sentence fast and help you understand when the Portuguese speak fast, because that's the real world. And if you are with a friend, we can say something, let me know when I say something totally crazy in Portuguese. Okay, and if you have this habit of asking your friend for guidance, maybe you can have your notes, you have your phone, you can ask your friend, I'm going to speak in Portuguese, okay, and write down my mistakes on your notes, and then share your notes with me. Okay, so this way your friend is writing your mistakes, because sometimes we forget in the end of like 2, 3, 4 sentences, we forget what kind of mistake was made, even what the person said, right? So this way your friend is not going to interrupt you. So you will be able to let it go, let it flow, and to build your what you're going to say, because sometimes you want to say something and one sentence is not enough. And you are thinking about what you want to say, and it's not that good if you are interrupted every single time. Okay? If you want to be interrupted, you can tell them. If not, you tell them. Okay? Oh, today I want you to interrupt me. But sometimes being interrupted every single time is not that helpful. So you need to choose what you want in different situations. You will see what fits the best. So how to say this in Portuguese? Let me know when I say something totally crazy in Portuguese. You can say something like this. Diz-me quando eu disser uma coisa estranha, maluca em português. Diz-me quando eu disser uma coisa maluca em português. Maluca, crazy. So, fast. Diz-me quando eu disser uma coisa maluca em português. Diz-me quando eu disser uma coisa maluca em português. Alright? Coisa maluca. Think crazy. Something crazy. And if you are texting, for example, you can say, if you see any mistakes, I'd really appreciate your correction. If you see mistakes in my messages, in my text. And how to say this in Portuguese. Se vires algum erro, agradeço a correção. Se vires algum erro, agradeço a correção. Okay? Se vires, if you see, because it's not a conversation face to face, it's in is through message. Okay? And something else. Always trying to improve. Feel free to correct me. So, how to say this in Portuguese? Estou sempre a tentar melhorar. Corrige-me se vires algum erro. Estou sempre a tentar melhorar. Corrige-me se vires algum erro. Correct me if you see something wrong. If you see some mistake, any kind of mistake, correct me. Corrige-me se vires algo errado. Correct me if you see something wrong. Estou sempre a tentar melhorar. Corrige-me se vires algo errado. The next thing is what to do when you're corrected. Okay, you told them that you want a correction, and now what do you do when you receive the correction? You can say, of course, thank you. You can say, that makes sense. Thanks. Faz sentido. Obrigada. Faz sentido. Obrigada. That's how we say makes sense. Faz sentido. Faz sentido. Obrigada. And you can repeat the correct version out loud. So you can repeat the same word or the same sentence. And also ask for examples if you are still unsure. If it's a grammatical point, if it's a word, how to use a word. You know, sometimes we have two similar words, but we use in different situations. You can ask for examples. And we ask for examples. Maybe they will tell you a story that something happened, and it has to do with a word or with a sentence. Okay, so always ask, always be open in your communication. I know that getting corrected can be embarrassing, but doesn't have to be. It's real-time practice. Okay, especially if you find someone that is willing to help you, maybe a friend or a teacher. For example, me in our conversation clubs, that's what we do. We follow the same guidelines that I give you here in this video, but also in other videos that we talked about making mistakes and how to deal with it. We follow that guideline. So in our sessions, my students feel comfortable to make mistakes. And what's my reaction when they make a mistake, when they ask something because something doesn't make sense? This is my reaction. Okay, yes, and makes your mistake makes sense because I see that you are conjugating the verb as if it was irregular, because you're following the rule. It means that you know the rule, okay? But this verb is irregular, so it does in a different way. So this is one example. Sometimes my reaction is just like a normal reaction, as like in any conversation, normal conversation. Sometimes, many times actually, I like to type during our session what our students are saying. So while I type, I correct a mistake. So this is a very good way for them to speak, and they end what they wanted to say, and then they look at the screen and they see what they said corrected. Okay, and if I see that they still because for example they are talking about the same topic and they are using a very same word, and they are still doing the mistake, I tell them, oh, look at here, look how I wrote, how we should pronounce that word, and then they will say it. So very, very light. I want our sessions to be really like a normal conversation, like the same way you talk about your friends about what you did last weekend. We talk about that topic as well, and other topics, but always with this goal in mind of helping them practice Portuguese in a comfortable environment where they can express themselves freely, and also receive explanations if they need in the specific context, in that topic, in that conversation. So what correction actually means? Well, you can see correction as a sign of care, and you can ask for it with respect, clarity, and good vibes. So let me know in the comments, have you ever asked someone to correct you? How did it go? Or maybe the Portuguese are so eager to correct everyone, especially when it comes to language, that you don't even need to ask them to correct you. And if this video helped, give it a like, subscribe, and share it to a friend who is learning too. So let's help each other. Okay? Muito obrigada por estares aqui comigo. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao!